Thank you once again for joining here with me as we continue reading this scripture. Today, we're going to go back into Matthew chapter 24, and we might finish this chapter today. But before we continue, I would like to start the session off with a prayer. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving us this opportunity to be here today and to hear your word. I ask that whatever is said today, let it take root in our hearts and bring transformation not just to my life, but to every single person that we are encounter. In Jesus' name, amen. Today, what can I say? I want to say that life is unpredictable. And we shouldn't take it for granted. A lot of good souls are going every single day. Sometimes what we can understand is that some, when they say the good one gone, some people who you would never expect that would died. So this country has lost a great soul recently, very young, ambitious, promising young man. Who wouldn't know? Have all life and greatness, but the person is gone today. So we take a moment of silence for all the souls that has traveled away. Just imagine if a life can impact you and you never physically know a person. It goes to show that as human beings we still have that human part in us. To see a very vibrant young person with great dreams and beyond talent, life cut so short is something to make us think that who knows which time and days we all got left. So let's not take life for granted, guys. Let's not take life for granted. You know, what the sad part is that the ones that left back are the ones that live wondering what they did not do and could have done. But, we gotta understand is that those that have left back, you did what you had to do. People will say, move on, it's okay, it's this, it's that, but how do you function in a world where your world has gone away from you? Where everything that you ever wanted left? How do you function? What do you hold on to? And think about the persons that have to live losing a loved one that impacted their life so much. And this experience, I recently got this experience myself. And it does not matter how much one thinks that they could do more. You just gotta accept the reality that you did what you did, whether it's more or less, couldn't change the situation. But to live on, it will take time. Give yourself time. Grief, cry, let it out. At first, it seems like a shock, but then the second phase is going to be what you could have done phase. You start even blaming yourself for what you did not do or what you could have done. And you go through all these different stage. And the hardest stage is the day when you said your last goodbye. It doesn't matter how much you prepare. That day never goes the way you want it. To have the strength to look at your loved ones being taken away and will never exist anymore physically in this world is not easy. Especially if that person is someone that you really care about. How do you move on? You kind of really do lose a piece of you, and it really does take a lot of time. And I can tell you, it's only God. It's truly only God can bring you out of that, because it's a really dark place to be. But with God, all things will be possible. Doesn't matter how long, we will overcome someday. But to all the families out there that has lost their loved one, I pray the Lord strengthen you, keep hope alive, and comfort you and your family in this very bad time. And lean on to the Lord for your support. If you don't have the family around you that will give you that. It is hard being strong and in pain all at the same time. It's something only few of us can do, but let me tell you this. One thing for sure. God don't give you more than you can bear. And saying that doesn't mean it's a selfish thing. But sometimes for some of us, we got to stand this one with God. Because how painful we are. Being strong for everyone when there is no one there to be strong for you is an hard thing. But I know that the Lord knows that you are going to overcome, because the Lord knows that you have the ability and He's with you. So even in your brokenness, just know that you're not alone. And at the time when someone die, you will see a lot of people come out, drop, rest in peace, and you want to see where all these people are. As human beings, it is in our nature to comfort each other regardless of what. But it's still a sad situation. It makes me even think, after you have worked so hard to achieve life, to achieve your success, and some of us might never really truly live in it that long like we really want to. It's like our life is there just to be, an impact, a plus for someone else. And remind us not to take life for granted, and to make sure that the people around us know how much we care and love each other. And you know what I learned, as you grow older, you really, with God, you see things different, and your level of growth and understanding move to another level. And the way you look at life, it's truly never the same. And things that you used to fuss over, you don't fuss over those things no more. You start to focus more on maintaining the peace, growth, and stability of you navigating this world, not to move towards chaos, but to a place where you can truly grow, not just physically, spiritually, emotionally, in every way. And the older you get, the more you start to focus on yourself, the more you see self motivation, self development is very important, because there's when you started to see veil fall off of people. I said this, it doesn't matter how much a person pretend. Sooner or later, the mask fall off, and as you grow older, things that sometimes might be so important to you might not be that important to you. You look at the one that can truly bring you peace. I never say life is easy. This is really a journey that has a lot of twists and turns. But one thing I know that has always been there and will ever forever be there is the love of God and the love of Christ and what He has done for us as brothers and sisters in this world, and how He gave His life as a sacrifice to let us know it does not matter what the enemy bring, you will always come out successful once you believe it. And if you trust in the Lord, this even shall soon pass one day. And you learn to understand yourself as you grow older. You start to value yourself in a way that you have never seen or would have done before, because you start to realize it is truly you and God in this life. And not everyone will have a friend or a family member or even a colleague beside them today that can continue to speak life into them, that's going to hold them up when they are strong. Some people only have God, and God is the only strength that they can lean on in this life. And it doesn't matter, because they've been given everything to the world, and how nice they are and how great they are, and how many people life that they save. It's just that they might never get that back, that love and support like some of us. That's why I said our lives are truly different. But one thing I know that we all have is the Lord, who's going to make sure that He stand 10 foot tall or 10 foot strong or whatever to say. Be the rock for us in this most dying time. As a child, at 6 years old, when I lost, I think 5 to 6 year old, when I lost my father at such a young age, I could not fully understand the impact of that when it comes to my mother, a woman that has lived all her life, you know, have that security of a father in there. When that income has completely gone, with no security to support in case if he's not there, I never learned, and I could not understand at that time what we have lost and what women continue to lose when they don't have security, especially when they got kids in their life. And that loving a person is very good, but it's a foolish thing for both parents is to just not provide for when the rain falls. and I could never understand that. But anyway, this is not the time for that. But just to let you know, sometimes whether you want to be or not, being strong will meet you when the time comes. And that's the truth. Having lost so much family members in such a short period of time, I can tell you personally at this moment to see I understand what a person is going through is somewhat. But how do you, like, in this moment, when everything that you ever want in a person has been gone, how do you even stay sane in this like time? What goes through a person's mind that has lost everything, that, well, uh, someone precious to them, you know? How are they going to be, knowing that they gotta navigate this world with just them and God? Especially when you have someone with you that has been your rock. How do you navigate? And when we talk about Christ and we tell people about the hope and the support that He can bring in this time, and we teach the Bible to let people understand that even in these more dying times and painful time, and a situation that you seems like there is no tomorrow, that Christ will be that very thing that you need and stand with you. And as you grow in the Word, your understanding of this world and experience that you're going to experience and things that are going to happen will not impact you in such a great, you know, such, so so bad. But you will have a better understanding. Last year, time like now, a very close friend to me who have been fighting an illness for years, who have all our life, and our life really impact me and inspire me and even caution me. And she talks about being there, not experiencing a piece of joy. And sometimes we tell ourselves, maybe if we just hold on a little more, things might be different, but forgetting that we have one life to live. Well, one life to live in this physical world. And this is all that we have at this moment. And that if you're going to navigate this life, make sure that you enjoy the moments. And I will not say it will always be good and bad, but it will be somewhat balanced. But you must see, some good in it. And coming back for what this great tra- tragedy tragedy that we are facing in this country, with being so ambitious and died, and people are losing their loved one. It truly bring you back to a place where even you have to question yourself. What if I go tomorrow? If I don't make it, what you know what about the people that we left behind? How are they navigating? Have we achieved the success? Have even had a taste of what life is? We go on and trying to build and create so much, but many of us do not ever one day, some of us, enjoy the things, the fruit of our labor. And we keep telling ourselves, we keep putting back tomorrow. And as soon as we achieve this and as soon as we achieve that, we're going to where we are going to do better, but just to realize that some of us, our journey is just to make the trend while we inspire someone else to pull themselves together. But I understand now when it talks about 24 hours that God has given to you, God has given to me, and what is it that we need to personally do within that 24 hours. Since we have 24 hours a day, whether we're living in the snow or the sun, whether we have 24 hours, 5, 6, 1 hour of sunlight or not, or even none, you still gotta make life in all of those things, whether it's good or it is bad. It is your life, your experience. I would rather experience some than go and say I have never experienced any. I've tasted what it is like. I just had a taste, guys, of what it is like to be successful, what it is like to live in living your truth, and be present in a place where you actually want to be. I once had a glimpse of that. I experienced that for a period of time, and it has been so amazing. And I have to thank God in my life that He can show me, and let me experience a bit of success, a taste, a glimpse of what I can become, or where I can be. And some of us might never experience that. I will never wish that on you, but don't give up. While you're trying to live your life navigating through all the rough patches, make sure you take time out to enjoy your steps. And I always say this: you don't have to get the world, it is how you see it and what you believe. Because anyway, you can be happy. And I've learned that when I myself has went through a surgery, and when I came out and got infected, when I was rushing back and forth to the hospital to save my little life, I get to realize life is so fragile. I get to realize what was important in those period of time. All I could have done and hold on to is that I wanna wish that my kids past the worst, because coming from the experience that I have, I would never wish that, none of that on them. And I would just wish that they have someone in their life that would truly care and love and protect them. And as I don't know what life is gonna offer me and what's going to happen, all I think about day and night is if these children will ever be cared for and see and grow into what they were called to be. And you start to pick when you're in this is life and that situation, you realize how foolish we are to be moved with every little foolishness that we continue and the things that we take for granted. We get to appreciate and see each other in a truly a different light, because what is more important to you is what will stand in the end. And during that time, I've learned that how fragile life was. One of the things when I came out of surgery that has stick with me to this day is that I could have died and I didn't even know. I could have died and the world moved on. And in those period of time when I was not conscious, Where were I? What was I doing? Life truly goes on, especially when you are not even there. And I, at before, I did not truly understand or basically look at it that way. But after that surgery, I think it's like my mind take a whole 360. I just could never live the same anymore because, like I said, I could have died. And the question that I ask myself, have I really lived? Have I truly loved? All the sacrifice one make, was it worth it? And no one opinion matters at that moment. All that matter is if I'm going to see the next day. If this treatment that I'm taking to save my life will work. And every day when I stand in front of that mirror to change my, what do you call that thing? Like, I can't remember. My dressing, I get to, I just gotta thank God. You could look at yourself being broken, but you also remember that there was a time you might not have been there. So guys, don't take people for granted. Who knows who is next? Don't take life for granted. Take your life for granted. I've learned that. You get to see who truly care for you when you're sick. And anyone that is sick, let me tell you that with a righteous person in their mind, when you're sick, you get to see a different side of people. And then when you're sick, you get to really see kindness. Because it's sometimes the people you will never expect are the ones that show up for you. And you see people claim that they like you and love you, but sickness brings out the true character in a person. And if you have someone by your side, you know they truly love you. Through it out. Through, through it all. Some of us, we have to survive through it. We got to drag ourselves through it. Because the way how you would give your support and love to a person, sometimes not all of us get it back like that. So, in all those time, I think I grew more spiritually with Christ. If I was not that focused on the Word of God during the time, I was so strong because I could not allow myself to think negative of my healing. And I think when you look at our life, if we can think like that and not allow ourselves to be easily moved by the enemy and allow the negative thought the enemy continue to put in us to stick, we ourselves will overcome. Because as the word is being taught, there is still a lot of resistance when it comes to Christ. But the amazing thing is that Christ will never force you to want him if you don't want him. You understand? And he always has given us a choice to choose his path or not. And let me tell you, anyone that truly turned to Christ, that have truly been through a lot, have already latted it out and experienced it and realized that he is the only way. And it's with him the true peace, and growth truly come. And when you meet a place where that is so important, your life will never be the same. I've never been the same from when I walked out of that theater. And I never ever in life, and I pray to God that I will never go back there. I don't care what. I hope I never ever go back under a knife. And I never want to go back there. I will never encourage unless you really have to. I don't, not me. I never want to go back there. I never want to be that vulnerable in life. A place where, your life can just be gone. I never want to go back in that place in my life where I got to make such a decision. It was never one decision that I wanted anyway. It was just a life and death situation. But I don't want to go back there. I know what it's like. I felt the pain. People think that having a cesarean is, some people might think it's a glamorous thing. It's not. Surgery is never easy. Do you not know your body really have to be at a certain level and your will need to be at a certain place before you can even recover? And it takes a lot for a person that has to go into surgery and the type of faith and encouragement that they receive during that. And you really pray a lot. I tell you, prayers really, really have to go up like a lot. No one knows what happened the moment you slip out and you're gone. That type of pain afterward, I wouldn't wish it on nobody. I don't wish it on no one. And the aftercare has a lot to do with, your will to survive. You know, I wouldn't wish that on no one. To be cut like that, I won't wish it on nobody. But if you have to do it, you have to do it. Just use that as an example to navigate life differently. I've never been the same from that day because the way I look at life is a really precious gift. I know before that it was precious, but I I experience what it is and understand it from my own experience what it is like to have this life and get up this morning to be here in this present world. I know what it is like and I know what the pain is like, and I don't ever want to go back there. I never want to go back there. I don't want to experience that. That was a very hard time for me, and a lot of people go through that. It takes a lot out of you to even go under the knife, to acknowledge yourself, to be there, to want to do that. So I hope technology increase where we can detect a lot of things before we even have to go down to that part. And for those that if you go down there, I want you to understand, you need to have, you gotta get a mind to overcome it. And life doesn't end at one stage. It's two things: you grow or you improve. And how you see that. And if someone stick by you in that time of your life, clearly shows that they truly care, because you can't do much for yourself. But have somebody by your side that's gonna stick with you is it's a very amazing and a rare thing. Saying all of this is to let us understand that our life is so fragile, guys. And it doesn't matter if you're successful or you're not. You're ambitious or you're not. You have great dreams or you don't. Any one of us can go. Any one of us can have that flat remove any minute, time, or day. So I'm encouraging you today, guys. Don't take this life for granted. Do what you gotta do now. Start. Better you experience some of it than have none. I'm so grateful for the little taste that God has given to me. And I can always say this here and I say it then and I say it forever. I've never really know how precious it was until it was almost taken away. And that's why now you see a different version of me because I don't ever want to not experience it. And it actually truly built my faith a bit more stronger because every day was a fight. I had to fight to think straight, to have positive thought. I had to create a positive environment even though I experienced negative things. I had to make decisions every single day that would benefit me regardless of whatever I was experiencing. And how the enemy truly wants to attack you when you're broken and bring all this negative thought, and you got to learn to pick and choose which one you want to focus on. I choose to focus on what God say. And every day when I get up and I had to go first, I had to go every day, twice a day to get my dressing to be changed. And I met all kind of people. I met nice people, I met gentle people, and I met rude and horrible people. I meet people that actually want to be there, and I met people who just go there because they have their bills to pay. And your care comes from the person that actually wants to do the job. And if that doctor or nurse actually wants that job and love that job, the way they treat you is completely different. The approach are very gentle and caring, and it just take off that worry off of you. But if it's a person that is frustrated and exhausted in whatever way, they try to project that on you. You feel it. Even though I had that cut, my first experience was horrible. You know, that doctor ripped that surgical tape, and anyone that have surgery or ever have a surgical tape know what it is like when you fresh out of surgery and someone ripped that tape. She said you gotta rip it off because if it take too long, it's painful whichever way. Whoever make that tape, I don't know you. So it is good, but oh God, that thing is painful. And going every day to be dressed twice a day, ripping that thing off, I tell you. Sometimes meet some nice nurse and some nice doctors. And some of them, you just know that you know, and something you learn around that time, you learn to care for yourself. Self care is way better than a lot. Saving your life and wanting to live is never easy. And if God has brought you through that, don't ever take life the same way. You must do something different. You gotta be grateful because my word that I continue to lift and continue to hold on to is that I almost gone, and the world would not even know that I exist today, and this what I do would not even be in here. And you know I hold on to that so long that when I let it go and put my trust 100% in the Lord. Life is so short, and one that has buried so important people in my life in such a short moment. I can personally tell you it never gets easy. And it's sometimes it don't even feel real that these people gone. It looks like you think that they gone on a vacation. you know, but they're not there. That space in you can never be filled. It takes some time for some people. But I know that God is going to be there with you for the person today that got up and you have lost your loved one. And, no matter how much support you have, see, when you go into that bedroom and you lie there by yourself, you really truly feel the weight of the world on your head. And that space is only God, I tell you, it's only God can bring you out from that brokenness and give you hope. So that's what Christ does by teaching his word, is to remind us that he's with us and we are not alone, and his sacrifice will not go in vain because he went to that cross and died, remove all the obstacles. And as his child, as a child of a living God, let me tell you, the world and whatever is going to happen, the children of the Lord will stand firm and grow and come out of this. And even if you don't know what to do, or you might be the weakest or weak, you, you know, you're not strong enough. With God, all things are possible, and He's gonna help you to navigate life, even when you don't have a clue what to do. And let me tell you, some of us we clock out a long time, and know what we what is holding us up. It has been God who stepped in from day one. Sometimes some of us we only exist. We don't even feel that we are even there anymore. But let me tell you, whatever you need in this life, whatever growth that you need to grow, and even in a war situation, you will definitely experience that when the time comes. Because God will never leave you, He will never forsake you. And coming from a person that been through that I can tell you personally, Christ will never leave you, and He's going to be by your side through it all. You understand? And that is not the end. It's the beginning of greatness for that person that has lived their life trusting the Lord. You understand? And one thing we gotta understand, especially the persons who live their life for God, they are in a better place. And I think that's what gives us hope, to know that they are with the Lord. They are in a better place, and they're not in a place where they have to struggle or have any pain anymore, where they can have that love and support that they need. But see, the ones that left back, you know, just know that. Let it out, grief, cry, scream, mourn if you have to. But you gotta live, and you gotta live because the person that has gone would want you to live your life, would want you to experience life, because they have not going to want you to go behind them. They will want you to live and carry on that vision that they have within themselves, the levels that they have never got a chance to reach. They would want you to reach that pause, that stage in your life. They will want you to live and grow, and be happy, find happiness, you know. And sometimes the enemy might want you to think that there will never be no good days. But that's a life from the pit of hell. Even though it might not be sudden, but you need to live. You gotta live on for that person that you have truly loved, and you gotta live in that place where they will want you to be, not to be bothered with what the people going to say, but to live in your truth and be happy, because that's the type of environment that person has created and put for you, and they will now want you to live your life and suffer all the time and to be strength, but they will want to see you grow, excel, maximize to levels and levels, and to keep growing and growing and growing, because their memory is for you to find that success in your life and live in that truth that they always want for you. And that is the hope that Christ brings. So, yeah, anyway, let us go into Matthew chapter 24. We're going to read from verse, I think, 28, because last week we talked about the false Christ, right? And Christ is telling you, you know what, you need to be grounded in the Word. You need to read this Bible. You need to meditate on it, and you need to have a personal relationship with God, so that when the Word is spoken, you understand, you will understand. You will have a personal relationship. You will know the voice of God. So when different thoughts come to your mind and things are going to be trying to tell you what to do, you will know who is there for the truth and who is there for the lie. So when you know as a child the voice of the Lord or Christ, you are not going to be easily deceived. So that is something you need to understand. So we left off where we said that for the lightning comes from the east and shine as far as the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. So in this chapter 24, he talks about, he gave us some signs on what is to come, and are we going to know that he is, you know he is actually the one that comes. Just know this, and this is something that we don't talk much about, and I learned this from reading this Bible already. Like I said, I already read out this Bible. Well, I read it once, so this will be my second time completing this Bible. Um, when Christ, when he burst through that cloud, time will seem cease to exist, and he comes at that very moment to make war with the sons of the world and to put things to order. So when it comes, it won't be a end right away. It will be a time of reckoning. That's why the righteous will be caught up in what do we there's a name, but I can't exactly remember the name. But all the righteous people are going to go to a place where they are going to be secure and protected, and the unrighteous ones who left behind, they are the ones who are going to face the great calamities, right? That's the time where all the evil things that you will ever expect in life is going to happen, and you're going to have to deal with it then. And those days are going to be so bad that even though people see all this bad thing, the level of evil will be so great that people would even want God if He tried to save them. For the some of you who are going to be left behind to help guide the rest, God be with you guys. I hope I come back. Honestly, if there is a second reincarnation in life, I truly would want to come back, because I don't think I would have achieved. I might have the opportunity to truly live this life. knowing that I want to come back my memories also. So I can just navigate from what I left off. But I would want to come back. I would want to. If I have a chance to choose, I would want to come back, even in this messed up world, to make my mark. I make better decisions, one that could, be fruitful. If I don't come back, I rather choose to be a guiding angel and help my brothers and sisters to navigate life. So that was always my two choice. If there is a second life and I want to come back and I can come back, I would. If not, I'd rather be a guide. And I think maybe I'm just might be a guide. Who knows? So I hope when that time come, I would choose well. So now we start with this new week, which is 28, verse 20. It says, "Wherever the corpse is, there the vulture will gather." So immediately after the tribulations of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from heaven, and the power of heaven will be shaken. Then will appear in heaven the sign of the Son of Man. And then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the cloud of heaven with power and great glory. So, guys, let me tell you this here. I know sometimes people will say this is just a fairy tale, but this is the only book that has proven itself from then to now. So there is some kind of truth in this. It might seem like a joke, but it is not. This is actually telling you these are things that are going to happen. You imagine the sun don't shine. What happens to the world that require light? There will be bare darkness. Stars are going to fall out of the sky. It never said one star. It says stars. Do you know how huge those stars are? They look tiny up there. But just imagine those things light up the sky, been falling down. Just imagine what those humans are going to go. Humanity is going to go through, or will go through in those tribulations. And that's the rampage of the Antichrist who will rule around that time. Right? So even in this period of time when Christ busts the cloud, there is worry coming with the righteous. He gonna come make things. Let me tell you, they're gonna get it right. And the enemy, as he continues to want to build his army to fight against Christ, he will lose. Because the Bible says he will lose. Let me tell you this, and to all the people that don't understand, that thinking that the devil got the upper hand, you are being truly fooled. You understand? Think about it. If you are the creator, don't you direct the how much the flour would need if you're making bread? Is not what you put into the flour will come out? Can you who have not put sugar in it, will it bake and sugar come out? What you do, if you've forgotten sugar, you will have to have a side dish that will substitute, and even if you try to substitute, it will still not be the same because the flavor would not be there. The creators created all things. He knows exactly what will happen, and he knows exactly the end. He has not created us to completely overthrow, but to attempt to overthrow. But he at the end, who have known it all, you the baker, the creator, you already know you have your many plans if something did not work out. But you always give the first try the opportunity to choose. But in the end, you already know if they don't go the path that you want, they will fail. So no matter what the enemy tries to do, the enemy can only do what the enemy has been allowed to do. You who are the children of the living God have all authority. Let me tell you, all authority to this world here. You could even command heaven to come down and even help you. Like, remember that one time with Christ? And the devil said, call the angels and let them protect you. And he said, man shall not live by bread alone, but by the word of God. Does it make? Think about it. So there is an end to this nonsense. We think we are in the bad. We don't have not even blink into those tribulation time. So to all the people that thinks that the devil's gonna overthrow the Son of God, and you choose to go down that path, only destruction will follow you. And you know what? In ministry, it's time we stop sugarcoat people. We are not in the period of time where information needs to be lack. The reason why information are being so freely given to you at this moment is because there is another level to what is going to happen where these are choices in 2026 and even 2027. As many things are being revealed, you should ask yourself why that so much thing that was hidden, which only few knew, are being discovered in this period of time. So we are in a period of information. We are in a period for what is hidden must come to light, where we have to make a choice. After this period has gone, the decisions that we have made will either impact us or destroy our life. So these are things we must not take lightly. It is because the truth has been given to you. You will never not say you didn't know. You are in a period of receiving knowledge and a period of choice. So you can decide whichever one. Because maybe after this period, there will be something else that has come where you gotta choose. So, guys, you gotta know. You won't know if you don't read. That is all I can tell you. I can't read for you, and I cannot stand uh, in place for you when that time comes. You gotta read for yourself. You gotta understand for yourself. And when I said I can't read for you, I'm just not saying that I'm not physically reading at this moment. I'm saying that I cannot replace you in your time where you have to stand and represent yourself. So let me correct that. Not that I can't read for you. It's that if you don't do it, it will not be done. That type of mentality. Because Christ and salvation is a you effort or I effort. We cannot move to the next unless we are willing and able and want to do it. And it's a choice you gotta make. It's either you choose God or you don't. That is the choice that we have been given. And it says, and he will send out his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. From the fig tree learn its lesson, As soon as its branch become tender and put out its leaf, you know that summer is near. And this is something that I learned reading the Bible. When we know summer's coming out, is when the trees started to open up themselves. It's like light. They you know, they are. It's like at a very vulnerable time in their life, where they are reaching and want to receive. And this is how I know now that when something I look at to know when summer is coming is when the trees, and you see in this time during the summertime, you look at the trees, look how different they are. They are way more open up because there is no more limitation on them. It's not winter to lock them down where they gotta close up and fall off and just try to survive. But they're at a place where they can truly open up and be free, extend and birth what they were preserving all their time. So summertime is the trees heaven. you know think about it. They know that some of them, sometimes this is the period of time where they can only grab as much as they can grab to keep them alive and sustain them till summer come again. So now you have the word of God, because everything related to either the word is just written in parable. But think about you now as a tree. What are you keeping to keep you alive come next summer? So I won't be doing a long service today. I'm just gonna go down maybe two more, because I actually have something very important to do other than this. So it says, so also when you see all these things, you know that he is near at the very gate. Truly I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all these things take place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my word will not pass away. So we're going to stop at verse 35. I'm going to explain a little bit more on this. Right? So basically, in this Matthew chapter 24, signs that are going to for you to see. And guys, you gotta go back, read Matthew chapter 24. I stop at verse 35. 24 verse 35. I stop there. The word of God will remain forever. No matter what has happened, his word will not go anywhere. And as a child, you have all authority to command those words. And you gotta get faith. And when they say faith like a mustard seed, think about a time now in the most difficult time in their life, when things are not going the way always supposed to be. That little faith you hold on to can be a very great divine thing. Just imagine that. So let me tell you this, guys. This is not to say that we are perfect or I am perfect. It just says that certain things we must not take for granted, and always how important it is that we need to know the word of God. And there are a lot of people who say that some of us, we always run into church, we always try to you know stay close to God and claim that we know God. None of us are perfect. And I had to learn that the hard way, and to realize that as human, there is indeed growth. But there will come a time where you're gonna have to choose which direction that you want to go and how you see Christ. And it comes to question when we talk about him going on the cross and what happened after that. It makes you wanna think about, if Christ went to that cross and removed all sins and every obstacles, then where are we today? Are we living in no sin, or are we still in sin living, or have the opportunity to make the decision? So this is where we are. We are in a period where we have an opportunity to decide the direction where we go. Before, it was the law, it was the prophets, and that's how it was. But when Christ died on that cross, he took away all that power that was only given to a few, but gave all of us a seat at the table, an opportunity to make the change. No flesh. You understand? With the true intent of God will decide your direction of this life. You have to know what is it that you want. And that's a decision. And you're gonna make that decision with God when when you are going to give him the opportunity to be a part of your life, where you're gonna navigate this world with him, and not be afraid to talk to God. Some of us, we are so afraid and so ashamed to even have a conversation with the one that created us, or the son that died for us. Let me tell you, if your pride is keeping you away, then that is nothing of God, it's the devil. You as his child, he know you're going to make mistake, and he's not holding that against you. But if you truly repented in your heart and want to change, God is there, whether you want him or you want him not. I say reach out, because let me tell you, there must be a reason why you are here. And maybe things have not been the way you want it to be. But you're here now and you need to navigate life. And it's only Christ can help you with that. That faith that you want, and that support and that love and that care, you can find all that in Jesus. Because he has made a way. He has opened door. I can tell you, you are going to always have the best days of your life. But I can tell you this, in the end of the day, with Christ, all things are possible. And even in the worst time of your life, you are not alone. So I would rather choose Christ, who will stand by me 100%, care for me and love me, be there for me in ways that no one else can. So it's a treasure, a rare and a beautiful treasure, to know Christ and to understand his word, and understanding come from him. And whatever you don't know or you're struggling with, you talk to Christ, because let me tell you, all of us, God has have plans for our life, whether we head down the good or the bad path. When you born, you have your destiny, and that will not change. It's us who turn that away. And like I said, I talk about this. The company you keep will have a lot to do with how you handle things when you come when it comes to times where you need to truly step up. And if you want to keep people in your life, let it be people that can speak life into you in your most darkest time. Remind you of your goals. And friends are very rare. And if you have one that has, check all the box, that's your blessing. You know, still again, I want to say condolence to the young man and his family. You know, the Guyanese artist that died. Congratulations, condolence to to his wife, and in this most painful time, because I guess we all have seen the videos, and the guy did explain a lot, always about his wife, he loved and cared for her, and the way she loved and cared for him. Looking back, I don't really personally know these people, but from what the husband continued to speak about her, it seems like she is truly bringing him out from a very dark place and continue to speak life into him. And I think that love that they have grown is because they have grown from a place where both has been the shield for each other. And sometimes when we see men loving their wives and loving their family, some people have issues for that. But we cannot sit and say that love is fake, because the one just even to the end, this guy continued to talk about his family and talk about wife. So that goes to show, as a wife, she really truly speak life into him and support him in ways that he has made his decision that that is where we want to be. And I pray that she has all our support that she needs to navigate this life in this most dying time. And to our family, you gotta really step up here and stand with her and remind her to stay focused, because these two people truly love each other. And to lose someone you truly love in such a bad, in such a way, in sudden way, and she has not even gotten over the shock. It's like she exists, but she's not there. So guys, you need to really speak some life and support her in this time, because the heart, especially when you meet someone you love, and the person love you back the same way, and losing them, and your what a vision one can have. How can It's only by the grace of God that person is there. So family, you gotta rally around her and keep speaking faith into her, and you know in this time, because she really would need it, like, especially because it was the two of them all the time. It won't be easy. So I think she would need a lot of counseling, because it will be very hard for her to navigate back right away. So, guys, all we can do, we can keep, for those that can keep a word of prayer for them, and for all the families out there that lost their loved one. Keep some, keep them in your prayers, keep speaking life, because enemy look at this situation to bring more darkness. And, especially when a family always at heart, that just increase a lot of pain. And it won't be just a perfect thing, because a lot of both sides will have to unpack this reality, and sooner maybe they might heal, maybe they might not. So we're gonna pray and keep faith that they end up working together and put aside their differences for such a time, and send the guy off with the love that he always wanted from both sides. You understand? So think about a soul looking down at this time. And the most precious thing, I guess, the guy wants is unity between his entire family. So family from both sides, you guys put aside your differences and send the guy off with the love that you always wanted, that you guys maybe not many you did never give him. So I hope that you guys, the Lord continue to strengthen you, and we're gonna continue to speak and pray for you to overcome such, I would say, a tragic situation. But he lived a beautiful life because he had the love and support many of us never had a marriage. Many of us might never even know what it's like to truly have someone to love us. But till the end, the guy say he regret nothing. He loved his wife, and his wife been there for him. So we, as Guyanese, we're gonna support and keep, you know, keep them up because they are very young, and to see young people overcome and achieve is a beautiful thing. It gives you hope to see that life still matters. There's still people out there that are breaking barriers and doing a lot of things. So it's a sad moment, and I hope we don't have to wait till death before we can unite. So I never like this thing, death after bring family members together. It shouldn't be like that, guys. We can't live like that. We must learn to understand that we need to just unite and be there for each other. I mean, we might have our differences, but why do we have to always wait until death before families can come together? It's a foolish thing. Before we can put our differences aside, why can't we just do? Why people are alive? People want that love and care from their families and their loved ones. Let us do a different thing in this 2026 where we show up and give the love out there to all and try to work through our differences, go to counseling and find out what the issue and work together because I'm tired of this only that thing to bring or some you gotta get a family reunion before you see family. And we came to see that we love each other and we only gotta wait until someone is no longer there before we can see that what matters more was us being there. So let us not continue down this road in life. No one is perfect. No one says perfect. No one say that who knows what happened both side, right? But at the end of the day, you understand. You gotta look at the bigger picture. We are all here to support and work together, and let us do that in this 2026 moving forward. So, guys, we come to the end today. I'm gonna cut short because actually, you know, to, it's my mother birthday and I wanna do something very beautiful for her. And I was never a person that cares for these things, these celebration, but I realize, like I tell you, life is so damn short, and I can't just thinking that I'm just gonna navigate life. I'm gonna let people know that it matters to me because I don't want to sit down wondering if I should have done this. Let me do it now when they're alive. So it's our birthday yesterday, but today we're gonna come together as a family and we're gonna celebrate. First time ever, I'm going to be doing something because I don't really focus on these things. I just see these days as just a normal day, but it is precious to people. And when you love and care about a person, you make it happen for them, you shop for them, and you might not see the sentimental in it, but your support is very important. And it's something precious that they owe. So I want to do it. So I'm doing it now. And I would say to anyone, do it too. Life is short. I don't want to, at the end, will say I always want to do something and never did nothing. And I could have done it. I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring, but I do sure know today I'm going to be present. So, guys, remember the men and the women out there that are serving in your prayers and those that are in need, help them if you can. And I know when I say this, help them if you can, because some people are very ungrateful. But don't let that be the only thing that tells you that there is good out there. There's always good out there, right? And don't allow pride to cause you to suffer in this life. Pride will not put food on your table. It will not put a roof over your head, neither clothes on your back. I know sometimes you have lived a life that was so proud, but now you're not no longer like that. You might have fall, things have happened, but you have your pride and you don't want to seek help. Let me tell you this, as human being, Christ come to be your helper. Christ is also your helper. Even Christ in his glory seek help from his Father. So our help might not be the same, but don't ever tell yourself because you're seeking help you are less than something. Because let me tell you, if you didn't need it, you would not go. And don't allow pride to keep you back. People are going to talk about you, whether you live or you died. You understand? So you got to choose which path you want. So what if you fall? So what if it didn't work out? So what if you were foolish? You have learned, didn't you? Get up and start again. That is my word to you. Get up and do it again. It doesn't matter if you're 100 years today. If today is your day to start again, start again. If you have that dream you want to accomplish, who cares if you're just going to only have a degree and you put it on your wall? If that is your passion, go after it. You might as well go down to the grave knowing that you have achieved something. You have went for something in your life that you can say, this is what my effort, this is what I built, this is what I do. I can say in all the messed up things in this life, this is for me. You understand? Don't look at your age. Like I always say, not all of us in our 20s and 30s, might be 40, 50, had the opportunity to do anything. Life to live is hard enough. So I'm saying this to you now. Go after what you want to go after. Go after your dreams. It's still important. Never give up. Life ain't no perfect. I ain't no perfect person. Nobody better than you, and neither you better than me. The only thing you need to understand is that God is with you. And in all the messed upness, listen to me. He will never leave you or forsake you, no matter what you have done. Repentance is there for everyone. Christ paid a price on that cross. Give you an opportunity to make choices. Don't take it for granted. Don't take your life for granted and your dreams for granted. You deserve to be loved. And you know what? One thing that I was looking at a few days ago, you know, sometimes you give everything to a person and they never appreciate it until it is gone. And it battles me thinking about that for a period of time. That sometimes people only learn how important you are until you left. And like I said, not all of us will have the opportunity to learn that. Some of us have a make our mistake and we end up getting back the person. Thanks be to God. Some of us we make our mistake and we never will get back that person. We will never like ever have the opportunity because there were no more chances left. So we gotta learn to live with our mistakes or whatever we have done. I remember one time, I'm not navigating back. I don't wanna go too far down, but I wanna say this. When I said you have a second chance, and if you do have it, take it and make it wisely. I was once in that situation where I end up getting a second chance. I had a good, well, a friendship, but I took it for granted. You understand? And you got to be careful when God starts putting people in your life. Be very careful with the people around you. Because sometimes you trust the people around you with their ideas, but their intention is never good. And when sometimes you're not sure about a lot of things, but you trust the opinions of the people that you claim or think that wants the best for you, and they will deceive you and lie to you. And you know not being fully receiving the full information, and seeing the situation for what it is. That sometimes not everyone wants you to grow and wants to see you happy and wants to see you have good things in life. And you got to understand that it doesn't matter if it's your family, your friend, your colleague, your children, your husband, your wife. Not everyone wants good for you. Some people see your growth as a threat to them because they never had that. Some people see your blessing as a curse to them because they don't believe that that is what you deserve. Imagine you could grow up in a family that cares for you, support you, and been there for you. Or you could grow up in a family where you grow up in wealth, but a person who you might help might resent such a thing and think that you look down on them, and they gonna look at your life and say you don't deserve that. Why you should have that and they should have this. So guys, you gotta always be very careful because you don't know the intention of another person. Sometimes meet genuine people. So even though it was a good it was thing, I was receiving a lot of negative thing, and even to myself, and I should have thought, do think better and make better decisions. And sometimes we act foolishly. So I did have a chance to make right of the wrong that I have done, and I'm grateful for that. But I don't know if you might have the opportunity. So don't wait until that time come and don't test the water for that. If today you know you can go back and apologize and make change, do it. Don't wait till tomorrow. Don't sit down there and assume that people will understand that you need help and you are going through things. You gotta speak. You gotta be let people be aware of what you're going through in life. Not because we live in the same must mean we can understand each other. If that's why we talk about communication. If you don't communicate, I would not know. Sometimes people are just going about their life thinking everything is good and you might be drunk in or going through a lot of stress. Some people might not know because especially when it comes to women, housewives, right? Or house husband, whatever you call it for 2026. If there's someone there making your life very easy and providing it, sometimes we overlook that person because we don't expect that things are going to go, and we don't see the pain that that person goes through. We don't see the struggles. We don't see the challenge that they are facing because all we see is that we are good. And when they don't show up or bring up these type of things, you understand? You, you understand? You don't appreciate it, you will just speak out the terms or act out the terms. Like the housewife, right? Who they're cooking, cleaning, taking care of the home. Sometimes our spouse will not see the benefit of it in that way because at first it was a great appreciation, but afterward it become normal and they expect this type of thing, but forget that that's a human being already right there. So don't wait until, like I said, honor that before we can truly appreciate, or when things have lost or broken before we realize it is important. So let us not do that anymore. Let us be present and be available for the persons that we care much about in our life. You understand? And remember the people that have helped you. Call your loved one. Show up for your loved one when you can. Guys, people, life is so short. Don't tell yourself you're gonna wait. You might not gotta be phone. You can call someone. You can even write a letter in this 2026. It still goes. Let people know that you love them. Say it to them. I love you. I care about you. I appreciate you. What you're doing is that. Speak life into people. Don't just because you have been hurt, you go out there and you chew and you hurt other people because you are hurt. No one deserve to fetch your baggage because you yourself have been hurt. You gotta learn to handle your situation and seek help. Like I said, you going for help don't mean you're weak. You understand? It means that you have done the level of understanding that you need the help and willing to go. And that's where growth comes from. Pride is truly a destruction for us, right? So call that loved one, shop for that loved one. For you, some of you, parents, kids, and anyone, if someone has truly helped you in your life, don't look down on that person. And there is a trend for what I see is going on with some, especially kids, whether it's biological or adopted, right? Don't be ashamed of what your parents do for your survival once they're doing an honest job. You understand they're making life and they're not doing nothing bad for hurt anybody out there. Don't be ashamed because your mom might or your dad might be a normal worker out there, or your parents might be a vendor, or they might be a cleaner, you know, they might sweep the streets, they might pick up garbage. Don't be ashamed of these things. Nothing is wrong with that. An honest day pay is better than you going and steal. And a lot of parents do so much and the children never might, some of them never will see, get a thank you from their kids. And some of them never been that appreciated. And they give so much, especially even if they don't have kids, but in the home that they provide for, you understand, you gotta start looking at these things. Because sometimes people make your life so comfortable you forget that they exist. And we can't live like that in 2026 anymore. We need to start being present for people, and show up for them and appreciate them. And don't feel ashamed, because sometimes husband and wife do it because maybe they have this prestigious job and the spouse doesn't have. You look down on them. You cannot look down. Do not look down on what God has given you to help you to grow. Because watching this anime for the period of time, one that really touched me, is one where this woman, they didn't marry, and he had, or boyfriend had, this great vision and things that he want to do, and men and women do it, so I'm going to put it back thing, right? And she said, all right, I'm going to help you to achieve. And she worked herself to the bone to build this man life. And the moment he achieved his success, right, he graduated, he got a nice job, and he mixing with people that are up there, and he called it the up there society, a different life. He looked down on the woman because she no longer fit in the in his world. She, he says she's not of class anymore. She don't understand what life is like. So he find himself a woman that fits his level. But let me tell you this. This is something that I've learned in life. As someone bleeds for you and you take it for granted, destruction will follow you in the end. Nothing goes unpunished. And that's what I know. You will either learn something, you might still have your business, but you might struggle with your health. You might always have to be rebuilding on some way. There will always be some type of chaos. If you don't want a person, just leave them alone. If that is a scum and maybe she's not or is not up there, why not take the time and give them the opportunity to bring them up to the level, or just help them? Because if that is what, imagine, you got to understand, when you didn't add nothing, that person was there for you. And you can just walk away and left them because you tell them that they're not in your class. They're not on your level. You would even have a level if it was not for that person. And to be grateful and appreciated, you just turn your back on that person. You understand? You see how karma does really come around? And that's why I love this anime. And they all learn their lesson. And you find that the person finds somebody greater. Guys, don't bleed yourself for certain people in this life. You understand? Once you start to see those red flags, take them as a trophy and run and do better for yourself. Because sometimes you might have a good intention for a person and you're you're thinking us and they only thinking about them. Some people are only there for only a period of time. They have no intention of being there. And you're loving and giving them everything. And sometimes your mind and situation showing you things you want to be blind. If they're never right from beginning, they will not be right after. Unless God has intervened. But if God has shown you while you're building someone, make sure you build yourself. And this is something I don't understand. Just like I said, she given working 4, 5, 6 job, send this guy to university so that he can achieve. He never even take a time off, a day off. You or a couple minutes after help or sort out stuff. Work with her. Even when the university and all of us know university gets summertime, they have break. The guy never put no effort. So ladies and men, you need to take these things and be very serious, very very serious when it comes to person you consider is going to be your ride and die. Because if you are burning and breaking yourself for them, and they just sit down and see they can do this and they have pride and they see you're breaking and you're burning down and they can just see you like that, it just means that there won't be no end. There is no future for you and that person. Because if they can work together, it's a difference when one is carrying the other, but they are working together in different areas. But that one was not doing nothing. It could because she was doing every single thing for that man. Like you would even do nothing. All he did is go to college, come home, you didn't even take, so you wash the dishes, help her out while she works. You just take, and his family just take from her. And it goes just like that for men. A lot of men has input a lot into women to help them to achieve success and they left them behind because they find if they're not left. Why not? When you achieve the success, help the person to get there. Give them a soft life, man. Help them because you know why? They have seen you when you had nothing. Why you can't do that? And then you claim to say you're so righteous. That's why destruction follow. And all these things, you see in this Bible, the the bad will end up in destruction in the end. So guys, when I talk and imagine you going through that, how did you even was for the grace of God, how would you have survived? When you give it all and nothing you get receive but just bad things. So guys, you know what? You gotta be careful, be wise in this time. Effort if someone truly care for you. And I'm gonna tell you this. If someone truly care for you, hurting you would not be an option for them. And even if you do get hurt, you will see the way they show up for you would let you know if they are really truly there. So if you are the only one showing up, it means that that is not the person for you. In 2026, you got to be wise because this is a period where you receive knowledge, where information is being accessed, where the hidden are being revealed, right? So now we go to the next part where we talk about what have you been doing to help you achieve the success. We are almost in July right now. Have you started off the things that you set out to achieve in January? Because you wake up new year, brand new you with new ideas of how you're gonna meet success or you wanna achieve your success or what you wanna do. Have you started? What have you been working on? Where are you right now? Have it turned out positive or negative? Do you have to go back to the drawing board and start again? Where are you? So these are things you need to ask yourself. I want you to know at the end of the day, it is you and God. But if you have someone, like I said, that would, at the end of the day, you, God, and that person, it's truly a blessing. But for the rest of us, it's you and God. Today, where are you? Because let me tell you, if you don't do it, it will never get done. You might sit and think that people might see your word, but let me tell you, if a person is there and you are doing what you need to do and they cannot see your word, they will never see your word. You need to see your word. You need to know who you are. You need to understand you, because we created the environment that we live in. And just like what I said, if you only see negative thing, you will have a negative environment. You meet negative people. That's why you see when you meet another level, you gotta exit yourself from certain thing. And that's why God gotta remove people from your life and bring you into a place where you will have the growth and have that environment of people that will push you to the level that you need to be. You understand you're never meant to be stuck at one level in your life. As a human being, you must grow, because growth is in our DNA. We are children of a living God that creates all things. There is no limitation to us and the things that we can do. And let me tell you something. You might fall down today, but let me tell you, when you raise your head up to the sky, you know what you have? Hope and second chance, and you can have that. You hear me? If you believe it. You understand? Everything you see around us, it was just a thought from someone, but they made it happen. They made it happen with or without support. Because sometime in your journey, you will not have the human support right away. It will come till in the end, people are going to see you. But that dream that God gave you, it is real and it can be achieved. And you got to learn and work and be persistent and continue to work on yourself and work on whatever situation you need to work on to get you there. No one is going to do that for you. You understand? Unless you want that and want it so much and so bad that all else will be forsaken, just like how Christ is the one in your heart. You see what Christ did? Christ wanted you to have a second chance so bad that he broke himself to go to that cross just for you. He wanted you to have life and life more abundantly, that even when he went into that garden and the enemy was tempting him, he still decided to go and die for you. He wanted you, right? To have no more obstacle to stand in your way. He wanted you to overcome all that pain and make you stronger. That he still went to that cross how many years ago, so that you now cannot be bound to no devil, to give you the authority to stand firm as his brothers and sisters and his Lord. You understand? So everything is possible with God. And everything is possible with you if you believe it. Because let me tell you, you did not come here by no mistake. You are not a mistake. I know there are some children and some people that have never received a kind word from flesh. And I've always tell people, I've told you that you have been a mistake. You are nothing. You will never become nothing. You will never accomplish into anything. You are only destruction. You you are bad. You're a demon. You're this. You're that. And people say these things to people that they feel threatened when they can see you, especially when they see the greatness in you. You understand? And they themselves might not on that level. They try to break your spirit. But I'm saying to you, my brothers and sisters, today, rise up, open your eyes, and live in your authority as the son and daughter of the living God. And know that you can do all things, everything and anything with him. Right? And that your life matter, you matter, and what you set out to do matters. And with him, you will achieve these things. No matter what you have done, what how you are falling, get yourself back up. Don't let pride keep you down. Because let me tell you, see this life, you deserve all the best. And he said that the best is for you. So remember that when the enemy comes or when situation comes to try to hold you down, they can't they can't put they can't lock you down forever. You will grow, build again, start again. Know that you matter and you are loved. Remember that. Take care and have a blessed day. I pray that the Lord continue to bless you, continue, to protect you, your family, open doors that are shut. If there are no doors open for you, I want you to build your own door, break down doors, break down limitations that people have put on you or society has put on you. You have no limit to nothing. If there's no space for you, create your own space. You understand? Stop trying to be amongst people that don't want you to be there. You don't have to explain life you're living to them or your existence to them. That is their problem. God brought you here. They got to deal with it. That's not, you shouldn't stress yourself on those things. You understand? Don't be isolating yourself because you know what? You are who you are and people don't understand. So what if they don't understand you? You understand you, right? God understand you. You know what you want, right? Go after it. If no one is there to celebrate your birthday, go celebrate your own birthday. Go celebrate your anniversary. Sometimes you have a spouse who don't even care. The hell with them. Live your life the best you want. Choose you. Choose your peace and happiness. You understand? Calculate your decision. Don't ever not be financially stable. If someone don't want you to work, make sure that they provide in an environment where in case if something happened to them, they're not you're still covered. And if that doesn't happen, it means that you're putting yourself in a very serious situation and you gotta break that cycle. Women, break that cycle. Men, break that cycle. If you know you're not prepared to one family or relationship, stay single. You understand? Don't destroy someone's life because they care for you and love you. People do not live your life trying to please flesh. They will never be satisfied. You gotta look in the mirror and see what it is that you want looking back at you and work on that. Life ain't perfect, nothing will be perfect, but God is fair and He is loved. Right? Now, I don't want you to live your life. People telling you you're a mistake. Nothing God do is a mistake. You were chosen. You survive out of all those sperms that swim there, whether it is artificial inseminated or is naturally inseminated. You come out victorious. You already win from birth. It's just the enemy in society that makes you think different. Sometimes you might come from a poor family. You might not have much, but your dreams are big. You know why you have those big dreams? Because that is your future. And you got to hold on to that. You might look around you and you might not see nothing that will motivate you or what you might, help you along the way. But as long as you got life and God, you will achieve. Go after your dreams, guys. I wish someone would have taught me these things and tell me these things, encourage me in times where I really did need it. But unfortunately, I did not have that. You know what I receive? Omiana, you want too much thing. That's impossible. Those are the words that were spoken to me. That doesn't make sense. You only like to talk about things. All you have is dreams. Let me tell you that I can clearly say these words because they were spoken to me thousands of times. When I was a child, coming up in a single parent home, with a big dream, and some family members tell me, I tell you this, they tell I will never be nothing in this life. I will never achieve nothing. I will never be nowhere. These are things you would think stranger are going to be telling you these things. Some stranger do. But let me tell you, you know what hurts more? When the people you love be speaking these negative words to you. And because you care for them, you might some start to think that that's who you are. But let me tell you this. You are a child of the living God, blessed and highly favored, sitting in heavenly places. You understand? You are not an option, you are a choice that was made by God Himself. You were selected, you are wanted. You understand whether your parents want you or not. You are you are important. You understand? And you are a solution that this world need. And if they don't want to love you, God love you. And you got to look to Him for your love and your comfort and your guidance. That's why you need to have a relationship with Him. You understand? And those things that people are speaking into you, let it go through one ears and come out the other, because that is not who you are. The identity you fetch is the identity of the living God. And His identity is not no mediocre identity. You have the highest level of identity. You're supreme. And you got to look yourself and speak those words into you. Be your own motivator as God motivates you. Look yourself in the mirror and say to yourself, we are going to make it. We might have fallen, we are going to make it. We have fallen apart, we are going to make it. Maybe we didn't make the better decision then, but this time we're going to make it, we're going to achieve it, we're going to create it, we're going to make it possible. And that is all you need. God's going to do the rest, okay? So take care, keep God close, and know that you're loved and never give up. Till next week, we're going to continue Matthew chapter 24, verse 36. You can read through the Matthew chapter 24, read it through. You understand? Read it, read it, read it. And one more thing I want to say. You know, people sometimes hurt you. And when I talk about forgiveness, you forgive them. Do not fetch what they do every day in your life and let it tear you down. You see, when you're letting go, you're not saying that you are saying that what they did to you, you're gonna just, it's not, it's just something that you can just forgive. I'm saying, do not let them take one more minute in or second in your life where you're gonna continue to fetch them. Dismiss that mind. Go after your justice. I'm not saying not to do that. But don't let them take any more part of you. They already take enough. Don't live your life fetching them. Work on your healing. Go to your counselors. If you know to yourself you need rest, take your rest. This life is a beautiful, amazing thing. But you will only see it if that is what you want. You understand? I can tell you how much beautiful the sun is when it hits your skin, how wonderful it is to be alive. But sometimes you might not see it that way because you have never experienced such thing. But let me tell you something. That's why we have this mind where we can go beyond our limitation. And it might not be the physical right here, but think about it, live in it, and you're going to achieve it. You just have to believe, guys. Anyway, take care.